made football history last night. He became the club's first player in almost 100 years to score 5 goals in an FA Cup game.
Luton received a 2-6 thrashing thanks to the Norwegian superstar, with City now going through to the FA Cup quarter-finals.
Joining us now is the voice of sport. Sadly, wasn't here yesterday to pay homage to West Ham after their fantastic victory. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I read that Erling Haaland got 5 in a game before.
Norway, I believe, he got 5 goals as a youngster.
The astonishing thing, interesting, is that he's been off for 2 months. Kevin De Bruyne was off for 4 months. He provided 4 assists to De Bruyne.
Yeah.
These two, I think, will be the fulcrum that powers them to the Premier League title.
We always think at this time of the season, where we enter March, they just click their fingers, Man City, and go, right, this is now the time. We have to just win every single game. And they normally end up doing it, right? They were back to their best last night. I mean, De Bruyne, Haaland, you've got the best centre forward in the league and the best playmaker in the league. They're so in sync. You know, Kyle, Rosie Wright kind of chemistry-esque, you know, the way you two just bounce off each other and you know where each other's going. De Bruyne and Haaland are exactly the same as you two.
She just looked like somebody had waved a pickled onion under her nose.
I didn't quite get the same.
I laughed.
Pay me a compliment.
Yeah, no,
I always pay you compliments. Jeremy's brilliant at this, aren't you?
There we go. But
So's Rosie.
They were fantastic last night. Haaland scored all of his goals so well. It was all a little bit too easy for them. And maybe it felt like at one point, it was going to get into double figures. They were looking so good. Not
important to Luton with respect.
I think their priority is obviously going to be trying to finish 17th or above and stay up. I think one sour note for Man City last night, Jack Grealish, who returns, also went off again in the first half. I think it's a groin problem. He's having one of those seasons where he's in the team, he's out of the team, he gets injured, he then gets fit, injured again. Real shame. He was someone that I think was really important to Man City's system last year. Can't keep himself fit. So Man City are through. Elsewhere last night, Blackburn, Newcastle. Really good game at Ewood. That was a game I watched on TV last night. Absolute thriller. Finished 1-1 after extra time. Newcastle winning on penalties.
Important.
Feels like a big win for Newcastle.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're mid-table in the Premier League. Haven't got, a great deal to play for domestically. So it feels like the FA Cup keeps their season alive. Haven't won a trophy in a long time.
And Leicester City
Leicester as well.
Under Pep's exorcism. What's a season they're having?
Well, I mean, they're flying, aren't they? At the top of the Championship. They're top of the league there. They will be back in the Premier League. And now they're in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Liverpool back in action this evening. Chelsea-Leeds should be a big game. First game for Chelsea since that Carabao Cup final. And, of course, pressure on Eric Ten Hag and Man United. They go to Nottingham Forest.
Talk Ten Hag, because it's in the Sun this morning. Marcus Rashford, that kind of awful story, all made public because the waitress sort of revealed where he'd been and that he'd been drinking. Apparently they're not speaking at all.
Yes, this is the story from Neil Custis in The Sun, who is, got to say, very well connected with Manchester United, covered them for a long, long time. And, the story is pretty simple, that they're barely speaking and the relationships has kind of come crashing down, all kind of on the back of that night out in Belfast. Which we, of course, discussed on this show, where he went to Belfast, didn't turn up for training, went out and told the manager he was ill. Then, of course, as you mentioned, Rosie, the waitress came out and revealed all. And apparently tensions are really, really high. And they're barely even speaking, which
the thing about it is, you look back, because I know Alex Ferguson. You look back, that would never have happened under Ferguson. He's on 300 grand a week. I'd have him. But it comes back to the whole thing about player power. But I don't buy that. I think a good manager... I genuinely tell you, I'm convinced, by the way, Ten Hag will go. I don't believe that Jim Radcliffe... read a story this morning that says he wants to send down Zidane. I can't believe that he's the right... I don't. I'm sorry.
A lot's going to change in Man United in the next couple of months. I'd be really surprised if Ten Hag is the manager come the first game of next season.
Absolutely agree with you.
He's been there for 18 months now, and it's on the pitch. It's very, very messy in terms of what style of football they're trying to play.
You think about you think about your average football fan. You look at Marcus Rashford, stood out in the wing, maybe play him down the centre. That might involve it. But if you're not enthusiastic on 300 grand a week, I'd throw you out the bleeding club or play in the reserves.
I think his attitude on the pitch as well was Man United fans. Some would say he's quite lazy. Maybe his head isn't in the right place. But not ideal, is it, when your manager and one of your best players on 300 grand a week, a local lad, aren't speaking? I mean, it's not ideal, is it?
Yeah. No. This caused a lot of debate. We discussed it. We actually debated it, the specific language, yesterday on the programme. This is Brendan Rodgers refusing to apologise for the comment that he made towards the BBC Sports journalist when he said she'd been a good girl. He said that twice. He's blaming society for looking to find something offensive. Do you think he's slightly read the room wrong here?
Potentially. So yesterday was the first time that he's spoken since the comment came out on the weekend. I'll just read a little bit of what he said. I've spoken to Jane, who was the journalist, and she wasn't offended. We had a laugh about it. She'll continue to ask me awkward questions, I'm sure, but I see her every week. We've got good relations, like I have with most people in my life, whether that's professional or social. So I find it saddening as much as anything. I'm not that type of person. It's not who I am or how I'm built, but sadly for society now, people are just looking and trying to find ways to somehow bring you down, and that's not nice. Also, as well, I should say, Jane herself has come out and spoken, and she has said, clearly the interview on Sunday has become a talking point. I don't believe there was any offence meant by Brendan Rodgers, and for my part, there was none taken.
See that?
So she herself hasn't taken any offence.
With the greatest respect, that is the point, and I'm going to say it because I didn't say it yesterday. There are plenty of people who offend and mean to, and that is fundamentally wrong, and offensive language is in no way correct. But do we not live in a liberal society where the elite spend most of their time trying to cancel people just for the sake of it?
I don't think anyone's trying to cancel him. They're just saying maybe you could think about...
Hold on a second. There are situations where he would have lost his job and been thrown out and vitriol. What I'm saying is...
That's speculation.
If it's meant, do you believe he meant to do that?
What I think happened was it was poor choice of words.
Yeah, I agree.
He was trying to patronise her, and that's how he said it, because he didn't want to answer the question.
I think he was very sulky, but I do actually, the point that he makes, that we live in a world where people want to knock the whatsits of anybody, I think that is absolutely true.
I think he's sort of using that to try and excuse the fact that he was just a bit patronising to someone. I don't think there's any excuse for it.
I'm saying I think what he said is true. That's all I'm saying.
Sam, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Did you eat your toasty?
Yeah, it wasn't very nice.
No.
Oh...